What's going on, Fire? John Harbaugh here, and welcome to Littleroot Lessons, episode number 238. I'm Jay. I'm back this week, joined by my brother Carter.
What's up, buddy?
Uh,
Is John the right one?
John is certainly the right one. I promise you that. Jim is the Chargers coach, and I'm sure of it.
You are correct. Yes. You know your team better than I do.
I had to correct myself twice tonight on whether or not that was the right Harbaugh.
To be fair, the second time I thought you said John, and then you're like, "Dang it!"
Yeah,
I'm like,
I definitely
did it
messed
right,
up.
but okay.
So I'm still wearing my Ravens jersey because we won, but it also felt like we lost. And Carter is still wearing his Cowboys hat because it felt like they won even though they lost.
No, God, no. I'm wearing it because my Chiefs hat doesn't fit.
The Chiefs only just started their game, so fingers crossed for Missouri tonight. But we are here to probably go over Spear Pillar.
Yes.
There's not a lot going on in the VGC world right now outside of the Grand Challenge, which I have been playing surprisingly.
What did you register?
I played my Archaludon Greninja team, but instead of Sylveon on it, I played Maushold.
Love me a good Maushold. Also love me a good Sylveon, so.
Yeah, I think honestly, there's been games where Maushold was better, and then there was games where Sylveon would have been better. Mm-hmm. I didn't really run into any GC cheese or anything like that, but I did get crit into Hurricane Confused, into hitting myself, into crit, into Confusion hitting myself, into crit. So that was something that happened. All on my Archaludon, by the way.
I just recorded today the voiceover for the Emerald Genlock. And the space tag battle, there is a point where my Gyarados hits itself in confusion, my partner Metang hits itself in confusion, Gyarados hits itself in confusion, Metang hits itself in confusion, and I'm just like, can we please do something?
Yeah, I started playing Pokemon again, and I'm like, I hate Pokemon. Why am I playing this?
You don't hate it.
In UDL this week, I lost to a one-turn sleep on Basculegion, which was just peak stuff, man.
Welcome to VGC.
I really thought my Fungus could pull it off, and he came close. If I just clicked Extreme Speed, I could have covered for it into their Rotom, but I didn't, because I was like, I can wipe Basculegion while it's asleep. And then it woke up and was like, haha, about that, brother. No, you can't. Have a nice fat L.
No.
So that was just awesome, man. That's the way my Pokemon's been going lately. I
did not register for the GC because 1, I forgot about it, and 2, I don't have anything on cart build. Carl played. Let me see if I can pull up his team. I know he sent it to me.
Yeah, I mean, I only played about 15 games. I really didn't play much, but
he played 3.
Good on him. He got to the number that he needed to get to. But yeah, it was alright. The GC was fine.
He registered Espeon, Alolan Muck, Smeargle, and DD Female, Drifblim, Flamigo.
So, last week in UDL, I got my butt handed to me by Espeon and DD Female.
Dude, I lost a match in testing for Louisville. I played against Espeon. I'm like, man, that thing real fast.
It's very fast. And it gets Expanding Force, which, for whatever reason, my caveman brain did not recognize.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that, why would you think about that until they click it the first time? You're like, Oh,
I
I now see what's going on here.
I was team building against this team, and I'm like, okay, they got Lily Cole, they got Sneasler and Dee. They don't have a size spam mode, so like their size spam is only for the Sneasler. And then they bring in the Espeon, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should have.
Oh,
Maybe I should have
what's
been
this
running.
doing?
Maybe I should have been running Ice Spin or Dragonite. I was like, there's no reason for me to run Ice Spinner. Like they don't have anything that really wants the terrain there.
What are they doing with this thing?
And yeah, so Pokemon's awesome. And
Dude, it really is when it's like when it's good, it is so good.
I think that this format is a lot of fun. Honestly, I do like this
I
format. And they just said in RTT they're going to be doing NFVs this season, which I said to myself, I'm not playing in RTT. And then they go with the format I've been voting for like 3 seasons now. And they're like, oh, it's going to be a short season too. And all of a sudden they pulled me back in.
Mateo and I were kind of talking the other day. I'm just like, holy cow, this power level of this format is so much higher than when I played. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, go look at the roster for RTT 8. Like, look at the draft board. There's stuff down in like the 13s and 14 points tiers that I have been testing for Reg H.
Reg H is crazy, man. Like it feels like anything is actually viable right now in a way.
Any given weekend, man.
Like
that's the thing.
I used Toxapex for a while.
Well, that just because you can play anything,
it does mean that you should. It does.
Yeah.
You should play anything. But with that, we can move over to the Spear Pillar rankings, which I think my point is proven because there is 2 Vivillons in top 4.
I haven't actually even looked at this yet, so
I've been taking a little look see.
There we go. Now we can see.
I know Vivillon did well at Baltimore last weekend, but there is 2 with the exact same team comp here. In top 4.
Yeah, I want to say this is the team from last weekend.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
Let's see.
But while Carter looks at that, something cool to note about just like the top 12, which looks like it was cut here, is that Incineroar is good, so Defiant Pokemon, specifically King Gambit, become good. King Gambit had a really good weekend in this tournament. It was 72 players, and it was 5th in usage on a total of 20 teams for 27.70% total.
For the record, yes, it was the exact 6. Not sure if there's actually difference in teams, but yeah, it is.
Is one 6. Of the people who played named Eduardo Sanchez by any chance?
No, it was Joe Castigliola. I am so sorry.
Castigliola, probably. I'm gonna say
Castigliola. Yes.
I wonder if they're related to Z.
Sure.
I think
I have no idea.
I think that's also Z's last name.
I'm gonna pull up some list here. Let's look at this. Electabuzz, Primarina, Chandelure. Yeah, this team looks cool.
Yeah, so this was the first place team, which was piloted by Sakuya Hana of the Philippines, with a 9-2 record, ended up winning the whole thing. This, King Gambit set is probably going to be what we're going to see from King Gambit for, a while outside of like the Dreadplay Black Glasses stuff. Your Assault Vest sets are almost always going to be Double Dark, Iron Head plus Low Kick.
Yep. You want Low Kick for any potential like Terra Normals that are running around. It's also good for like any fighting types that might be running around, which like specifically are Terra fighting P2.
Yeah, it's also quite good into like Archaludon and Tyranitar specifically,
And the mirror. Like
and the
another
mirror.
four
Yeah,
times weak Mon is King Gambit himself. Um, Notably, this is the exact set I've been playing, except I've been Terra Fire because I don't like getting burnt. That being said, um, you don't get burnt very often in this format. There's not a lot of Will-O-Wisp running around, but it also does give you a resistance to Flare Blitz coming off from an Incineroar if that's something you're worried about.
yeah,
The downside to it is it then makes you weak to Primarina Hyper Voice, which is something that's been starting to pick up a lot as well. Um,
and it
as
doesn't boost
well,
your damage either.
no, it doesn't boost your damage, and now you're still weak to ground as well. And, like you're still weak to ground. You're now weak to rock as well. Which, like, if you're trying to solve your Tyranitar problem, like King Gambit naturally should be good into that matchup, and so you're giving it a Terra that is naturally bad into that matchup.
Yeah, I think like Terra Dark in this format is just really strong, especially on a Pokemon who can take advantage of it in the way that King Gambit can. Um, like there isn't a lot of fairy types running around. Fighting types, you're kind of looking at low kick coverage on a couple Pokemon and annihilate for the most part. We do have Coma O body press on this team, but that's not something that we're seeing too often. And you,
I think the another like common body presser obviously is Archulodon. I've seen it on like Dozo as well. It's really uncommon on Dozo though.
yeah, like Arch is obviously something that you're going to see it on
Yeah.
all the time because of stamina boosts. But I've seen that King Gambit, without the stamina boost, actually, even in its natural typing, will survive body press. I've been playing a lot of Archaludon this format. It's really, outside of my one stall team that I play, the only team I've been playing. And, so the calcs have become pretty known in my head about what I can do. And it really it's really high natural HP and defense, make it so that it's able to survive those attacks. The assault vest helps a lot with the Primarinas, and just anything that's any of the fire types that are going to be attacking into it as well, such as like the Torkoals, but we're not really seeing too much of those. The Volcaronas, which is something a little bit more prevalent. But Como also seemingly had like a decent day here. There's two in the top 8, which is pretty cool to see. I think Como is like a really unique Pokemon in this format, especially without like. I mean, we see there's a Fairy type on every Pokemon in the top 5, so there are Fairy types around, but like
Mm-hmm.
they're not super common.
I think I want to talk about this Electabuzz set some. Electabuzz is something that's starting to actually turn out to be very good. I actually really like the idea of Electabuzz. Um, I don't like Electroweb as your only damaging move on these sets. And the reason is because there is so much King Gambit running around. And not only King Gambit, but like you also have Ape, that's like another Defiant Mon. I've started to run into more Milotic as well, which I don't know how actually common that is to see. But being able to just have Electroweb as your single attacking move means that if your Electabuzz ever gets taunted, you're now giving them a potential free Defiant boost on the switch. Like, it is terrifying to be able to give them that when instead you could play Volt Switch. But again, Volt Switch then makes it very predictable that you're going to be switching that slot. Or the one that I really like is Thunderbolt. Having access to Thunderbolt on Electabuzz means that you actually have a decent source of damage output, and like additionally, you can just also just like have it be there to just have another way to break a sash if need be. If you want a form of speed control, you could potentially drop like Helping Hand for Thunderwave. Thunderwave is something I've been playing a little bit with in this format, not specifically on Electabuzz, but if you're wanting like a form of speed control on this support oriented Pokemon, I really like the idea of Thunder Wave, but that means you're going to be losing out on your damage output that is Helping Hand. So I don't think you can ever negotiate like dropping Follow Me or Protect on this thing. Like that's the reason you're playing this, but I do think that having access to an actual damaging output move as opposed to just a speed control move can be important. Plus, you can always Thunder Wave a King Gambit. You don't want to Electro Whip it. Like,
Well, I think on this team it actually makes some sense because you can Electro Web and Iron Defense with your Como. You
mm-hmm.
can Electro Web and Fake Out or Grassy Glide with your Rillaboom. I think that there's just some unique, and like you can also Electro Web and then use your own King Gambit against theirs to low
No,
kick
I
it.
do agree with that. There
Um,
the
it's unique here. I don't think it's something that we typically see. I think most of the time we see like Volt Switch and like Faint as well as something that is also pretty good.
oh, I did not
Um,
know it had access to that.
yeah, that was kind of the big tech that was running around earlier on. That was started by UDL RTT legend foiled feline, and then ended up going to a lot of the Western players like Alex Underhill and the whole team building group along with them. Um, that
So,
that went into like worlds with Electabuzz.
most common Electabuzz set, just taking the first four moves off of Pikalytics. Follow Me, Protect, Electro Web, Taunt. Then Helping Hand, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt. So I don't hate it.
I like
It
taunts.
is. I do too.
But like you have
I think
Rillaboom with taunts on this team, so you have two Pokemon immune to the Amoonguss Sleep Powders that can taunt.
you also have Primarina for hazing things as well, which haze plus Electro Whip is kind of a non-bow. But like haze is really there for like specific setup mons, stuff like
Dozo,
Dozo. Yeah.
Anti King
Um,
Gambit.
I've seen it for like King Gambit. I've done it against Swords Dance Garchomp. That's another one that comes up as
Yeah,
well. It was like they're like, all right, I'm gonna Terra Steel and then Swords Dance in front of your Primarina, and you're just like, no, idiot.
yeah. Like, goodbye, and now I get to click Hyper Voice, which is very strong.
I will say, I don't care for Terra Poison Rillaboom. Um, this one seems really weird to me.
We saw it on Zach Weed's set a couple of months ago. That's where we saw like Wolfie make the really crazy Earth Power call into Rillaboom with Slanderous that ended up going on to him winning the tournament. I
And see,
think,
like that's my problem with it is sure you're like neutralizing earthquake damage with your grassy surge. It's like you're removing your ground weakness, but like it's also not good for like size spam, which is starting to pick up, where you want to bring Rillaboom into that matchup, right?
well, in those
Um,
matchups, you just don't Terror, right? I mean,
I mean,
like, Arbor Rouge
I
is a
guess.
thing, but like that's why you have the taunt on it. You can taunt into the
Mm-hmm.
Indeedee. You overwrite the Surge.
But like,
The Terra Poison as well allows you to just have neutral typings in terms of defensive synergy with the grass typing. You're neutral to what grass is weak to, and also the poison typing is not weak to ground types. I mean, the poison typing is weak to ground types, but grass is not. So it allows you to kind of play that fun little game with it. And as like strong as some ground types are, specifically Ursaluna, outside of
mm-hmm.
the Ursalunas, there really isn't many of them.
It's like really, it's like a Ursaluna, and then probably Garchomp as the next biggest one.
Yeah,
Like it's both Ursaluna forms,
which
which
we
like
which we do see in this tournament. It's here.
yeah,
There's a lot of ground type coverage in this top 8 to begin with. Um, and in the top 12 as a whole. But I don't hate it. I don't hate it, especially when you have
man, you
Pokemon
gotta.
like King Gambit and Chandelure in this matchup. Um, Primarina and Electabuzz are not too terrible into that matchup either.
Man, you gotta scroll a while before you find another ground type. It's Blood Moon, Big Jump, Garchomp,
Excadrill.
Ursaluna,
Excadrill's at
big
14 here.
big jump again.
Yeah.
I'm on Pikalytics, so
Okay, yeah, I
yeah.
don't think that's all that great of a.
Yeah, I don't like looking at it. It doesn't seem completely accurate.
It's kind of Ursaluna, Garchomp, Blood Moon, which can just be grouped into Ursaluna, and then Excadrill.
Yeah.
From there, you're really kind of picking and choosing at whether what your ground type is going to be. There's definitely stuff with coverage, like Torkoal runs coverage a lot of the time.
Dozo's running around with Earthquake
Yep.
pretty often.
Yep.
There's looking at the Spirit Pillar stuff down here in 10th place. There's a Gastrodon.
Yeah, that's another one too that I've seen a little bit.
Honestly, Gastrodon. I was thinking about it some today. Gastrodon doesn't seem terrible in this format with like how much rain there is, and like it gives you. It really helps you in the rain matchup as like an answer to Weather Ball Pelipper. It's an immunity for Electro Shot off of Archaludon. Arch doesn't really have a good way of hitting it.
Like, yeah, but I've also learned
its best move is like Body Press, but like you're still getting hit with hurricanes.
Hurricane plus Dragon Pulse or Draco Meteor is.
Oh, I forgot. I forgot about.
You're running
Draco's
like Body Press just for the stamina stuff, but you're always running Electro Shot, Dragon type move because it's actually very very good into this format. And then like typically you run Steel, like you run Flash Cannon there as well.
But like Basculegion is always choice locked. Like very very seldomly do I run into Life Orb Basculegions anymore. So like if they're going for like a flip turn or an Aqua Jet or a Wave Crash, congratulations, those are all single target water moves.
Yeah.
Primarina is starting to really impress me in this format. Just having like this stab water move in Hyper Voice is really powerful. I mean, looking at it here, we have in the top 8, there's 5 Primarinas and there's 4 Primarinas, all of which are in the top 5. So like, it says a lot about this little. I was gonna say fish, and I realized it's a seal.
It's like a sealed mermaid thingy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Primarina has been very very impressive. I drafted it with my first overall pick in UDL this season.
Interesting.
It has not panned out for me in the way that I hoped it would.
Not interesting.
But we're only 2 matches in this season, so it has a bunch of time.
Are you recording those?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I realize that maybe not the best for my mental if I record them. So
I feel you, bud. You gotta take care of yourself first. I understand completely.
Yes, sir.
You wanna talk about some Flamigos?
Let's talk about the second team here first.
Okay.
We can definitely talk about Flamigo though. I definitely want to get to it because it's been very impressive in a bunch of different teams and also in Baltimore last week. But Clefable in second place. Clefable's taken over Clefairy's spot. Sneasler.
The big thing is I don't think Clef is the best friend guard Pokemon anymore now that Maushold exists.
But even still, like Maushold's running Technician most of the time.
That should really just tell you, like, this format's not suited for friend guard. Like,
Unaware is so much more important.
It's so good in this format.
Helps you into Dozo. It helps you into setup. It's a little bit negative into like the Golden Go matchup because you're ignoring their stat drops. But when you have Terra Water, it's not that big of a deal.
I'm pretty sure, I know it historically has been where Unaware only affects their positive stat changes.
No, it affects negative too.
I thought it was their positive and your negative.
It's all stat changes across the board. That's why like Draco Meteor into Dondozo is one of the better ways to deal with it because it's a high power move and it doesn't actually negatively affect you because you are doing neutral. You know, your neutral typing. You know, your neutral stat spread to it. But we see like Basculegion on this team without rain, which is very unique. This team feels like it wants rain on it. It feels very similar to that to one of the rain teams at Baltimore, um, or no, the team that won Victory Road that me and Angelo talked about a couple weeks back. Where you have Salamence, you have Basculegion, you have Clefable, you have Rillaboom. Like you feel like you want Pelipper on this team, but instead you have Sneasler Gambit. And I think that's really cool.
This team's really interesting. The talking about the Clef some more just for half a second. You mentioned that it's not very good into Golden Go, which like that's also why you're Terra Water here, so you can just like ignore it some.
Mm-hmm.
But like you're also never like taking on it. You're not soloing a Goldie with this thing, unfortunately.
No.
Like you don't have speed control for it. You can't moonblast it down effectively. Like yeah, you're just.
But you have King Gambit, Basculegion, and Heat Wave Salamence to help you.
Salamence here is kind of hot, not gonna lie.
Yeah, like we've seen this Life Orb Air Slash Salamence quite a bit recently. But running Dragon Pulse is interesting over like Draco Meteor, and Heat Wave over Tailwind is a really interesting twist to the equation.
It has to be like specifically for Goldie, right? Like that's the reason to run this.
I would think so. This team's like matchup outside of, I mean, you have King Gambit, you have Basculegion, but both King Gambit specifically is like pretty good into it, but Basculegion can still be hit by Shadow Ball. Plus redirection.
It's also good into like opposing King Gambits as well.
Yeah, I think that the men's with like the Terrifier, you're on the Terrifier Heat Wave, to just really boost your matchup into them because you have like high horsepower and Rillaboom, but it's not all that effective most of the time. And your like, Sneasler looking cannot touch Golden Go in its natural typing.
Yeah, looking at the rest of like top mons here, everything else that's weak to fire is already like it's usually a grass type, right? So like you already have super effective air slash into them as well. So
but Heat Wave is stronger
for. It's also double target though.
It probably equals the same amount, right? Like 95 times point
air slash like 75.
Yeah, I think it would I would imagine it's probably 72.5. I don't know. Math is hard sometimes.
Quick calc says.
But air slash is also less accurate than Heat Wave is. Surprisingly.
No, it's not.
I'm pretty sure it's 90, while Heat Wave is 95.
Heat Wave is 90.
Okay. Maybe they're both 90.
And Air Slash is not on Altaria, so I can't just look it up. Bisharp gets
Air Slash is
95. So
okay.
Air Slash is actually the more accurate move.
But with Terra-Fire, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going for here. You get the chance to burn.
Even with Terra, Air Slash is more powerful.
Yeah, but you get the chance to burn, I guess.
Yeah, Air Slash has a chance to flinch though.
Steel types. You can't hit him without it.
That's the conclusion I got to.
I was there a couple minutes ago, but I was trying to really go the extra 9 yards. But yeah, like the Sneasler is cool here. You're running like the Poison Touch Dire Claw, so you're just like, hey, I'm gonna status you somehow.
I'm gonna say it. I've played against my fair share of Sneaslers here lately. I've never had Dire Claw do anything.
Congrats to you. I've been put to sleep 90% of the time.
I don't think I've ever seen Direclaw do literally anything.
I got parried in the grand challenge on my Mungus, and I was like, oh, thankfully it's not sleep.
I didn't know it could do that.
It can do all of them. All of the
Yeah.
status conditions. So it can
I've
freeze. I'm pretty sure it can
There's
freeze.
no way this thing can freeze.
I think it can freeze. I think Direclaw has any status condition. It has just like a
I thought it
roll.
was just burn, sleep, para.
It might be
not
just
burn.
those, but
I think it was para, poison, sleep.
Poison, paralyzed, or sleep. So 3 of them.
Okay. I was gonna say, imagine getting burnt off of this thing. You'd feel horrible.
Not too much worse after of being put to sleep with it. Honestly, I can't even lie to you. It's like it is so infuriating. You're like, I'm gonna switch in my Amoonguss here to take a close combat. They're like, oh, Direclaw. You're like, all right, I'm gonna take 35%, and then it's like, all right, your Amoonguss is taking a snooze. Oh man.
I've been playing a lot of Dragapult plus King Gambit here lately, so it's just like, all right, this is clearly a close combat, so I must swap. All right, this is clearly now going to be a Direclaw. I must swap.
Yeah, it's
you're not touching me. Get this thing out of here.
It when you have the good team for it, it makes things pretty easy for you. But
no, I have a terrible matchup into it.
Which is Sneasler specifically.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the updated team yet. I'm still on
the big thing about it is the ones I've been running into aren't poison touch. They are the unburdened set next to Rillaboom.
That is tough.
And so it's just like it just outspeeds my entire team at that point. So it's like
I think the unburdened next to Indeedee is tougher to deal with personally.
Probably
because you got Follow Me next to it, so it can really just go ham.
Yeah, plus then, like, I can't prioritize it down either. Like, granted, my only real form of priority is Sucker Punch, so not really doing a whole lot into Sneasler anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
I need to play more with Psy Spam. I feel like that's an archetype I would really enjoy playing.
Yeah.
It's just hyper offense, good stuff.
As someone who brought it to a regional, it's not going to be as good as you think it is.
I'm a text Bruno.
Here's yet another Bruno mention in a podcast that I'm in.
I didn't mention him last week, so
yeah, because I'm here now, so now we can talk about him. Yeah, I think Psy Spam is unique in this format, but I don't think it's actually all that good.
It probably isn't.
Like most
I
of them
do like the
are Indeedee Sneasler,
which I really like. I like that core. I also like the. Have you seen the teams that have been running Delphox instead of Armor Rouge?
No, I haven't, but I also just don't want to.
It's Specs Delphox Expanding Force.
I don't know how to feel about that. Somebody's car alarm is going off. I'm just gonna mute myself. Okay, no wait, they stopped it. Yeah, I live in a city now, so there's just constant noise all the time. So,
the downside to Delphox is you kind of get bodied really hard by Wide Guard because you have like Heatwave Expanding Force.
Also, like Incineroar exists and is like very good in this format.
No, it's fine. You have Focus Blast.
Okay, miss 50% of the time at the very least. Armor Rouge gets Meteor Beam, by the way.
Hold on. I can Terra Dark.
And then you get Flare Blitz, which Armor Rouge is immune to.
Yeah, but I have Blaze.
But you also lose the boosted power of knockoff because you're meteor beaming and you lose your ability, you lose your item.
You're right. The real play here is be magician. So when they knock me off, I steal their goggles.
So I lost to magician
There's
delphox
no way.
in RTT quarterfinals last season.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
That's so funny.
Shout out Benjamin. You did great.
Ben is such a good dude.
Yeah. Ben hasn't been around for a while though. I miss Ben.
I'm excited. I get to meet. I want to say Glenn said he's going to Louisville, so I get to meet Glenn.
I'm jealous. I want to meet Glenn.
I'll make sure I get a picture with him just to send to you.
I can't wait for that. I've met a total of 0 UDL RTT people, and it stinks because most of them are West Coast.
True.
I've only met you, which is whatever.
Go. No. Hold on.
Did I spend my whole week with you? Yes. Did I enjoy it? Slightly.
I took you to a zoo. That should be worth something.
That was a good time.
That was a good time.
We had fun in Knoxville. There's no region. Actually, I'm pretty close to Toronto now. Like, not that close, but still closer than I was.
Jay, you have the company car. You could drive to Louisville. I'm just saying. It's a travel expense.
But I also have to work on Monday and Friday.
Yeah, just quit.
Yeah, because that's going to definitely deal well for my company car.
Yeah, it's fine.
I definitely won't
quit
take
Monday.
They definitely won't take it back from me. Hey, I just put 1,000 miles on your car.
Here you go. I'm done with it.
I'm done with it. You can have the keys back. All right, let's talk about this Vivillon team just a touch. I'm sure you guys covered it last week at Baltimore, but Vivillon did really well here. 2 in the top 4.
This team was really cool. It was on camera for its top 4 match last week, I think.
Was this Dawei's team?
No. This was Joe's team.
It was Joe's. Yeah, you said that earlier.
I did, yes.
I'm just silly goose.
You're something. I'll give you that.
Brain dead, tipsy, one or the other. You can call it both. I told Alex the other day that I probably have CTE. This is for Daddy, right? Angelo was too busy getting buried this weekend, so
that we weren't invited to. I just want to throw that out there.
I live an hour and a half away from him, and he did not invite me. I just want that to be known.
I wouldn't have gone, but I would have bought him.
I would have been there. I would have gone.
He just doesn't like us, I guess. So whatever.
Yeah, and not he likes us enough to spend our Sunday nights with him, but not enough to invite us to his wedding.
I told Tiff yesterday that when we planned the wedding, we had to specifically make sure we send him an invite, just so.
I would just not send him an invite.
No, I'm going to, just to say that I invited him. So
you just have that one up on him.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I told Alex, I'm like, yeah, we're probably gonna have to go to Missouri when Carter gets married, and she was like,
I completely understand if you don't.
She was like,
I'm just throwing that out
road
there.
trip, and I'm like, no, and she's like, road trip. I'm like, no.
I'll make sure to convince Tiff to have it during tornado season, so Alex is guaranteed to come.
That would do it. Really, the only issue is getting her on a plane. That's the main concern right now.
There's a Amtrak station here in town.
Do you remember that I was looking at that Amtrak station?
I do.
And it was 28 hours with 3 stops in between.
Jay, it's fine. It's fine.
I'd rather just drive at that point. Company car. Man, we're like what, like an hour in, and we are nowhere.
Like technically, we've been recording for an hour, just over an hour. We are, I think, only like half an hour into the pod, though.
Okay, well, we're at 3 and 4, so I guess that means something, right?
Plus, we already talked about this team last week.
All right, yeah,
team's really cool. I will say, Vivillon is super cool.
You don't miss sleep powders unless you do.
You don't until you do, and then it matters.
Yeah, I watched actually Foiled Feline in UDL this week. 3-hit a population bomb with wide lens. So
I have lost matches in testing where I 4-hit, so I understand.
Rest in peace to that. Rest in peace to that.
Yep, 1% chance and I get a 4-hit.
I lost a couple of my GC matchups to Water Shuriken only hitting 2 times.
The worst part about it wasn't the fact that I 4-hit. It's the fact that the second one, the next turn, I could have won this matchup still. The next one, 3-hit.
And this is coming from the guy who read Hypnosis over Sleep Powder Executor. Yes! Just some of the worst luck ever. Some of the worst luck ever.
My luck is catching up to me. I want that to be known. It caught up to me that season, but it's catching up to me again.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about this team anymore? I feel like we haven't said anything about it, but like...
I think we you guys talked about it last week. Like Vivillon is the alluring part to it. Porygon is pretty standard. This point,
this is like 5 staple bonds plus a Vivillon.
Which is like, I mean, that's like what a lot of this format really feels like sometimes. It's like you have your archetype, you have your 5 staples, and then you throw on like a niche pick somewhere to, do something cool that the rest of your team can't do. Like Viv is able to Rage Powder and Sleep Powder. It's like a fast Toad Scroll, without the wheezing necessary. So that's something, right?
I agree.
Especially because as we learned, because Carter was testing Toad Scroll wheezing, probably not really that good right now.
It was fun. Really fun.
Yes.
I lost there for a while. That Saturday night, I won so many games. I got up to like 1,500 on Showdown for first time in a long time.
Yeah.
And then like that Sunday, I dropped back down to like 1,250. I could not win a game to save my life.
I played a couple sets with it. I didn't play too far. And I think I played 3 sets with that team specifically. And I won 2 of them. And one of them was because the guy did not know what Clover Cloak does. And kept faking out into my Toad Scroll.
Like, buddy, I'm going to continue to spore you.
Yeah, and then afterwards I was like, Covert Cloak ignores secondary effects. He's like, I know, I just can't read. And I'm like, yeah, you also faked out into me like 4 games in a row. Like 4 times.
And like, here's the thing. It's sitting next to a choice locked Pokemon. Like
But yeah, I think that like Angelo said it pretty well. I think that was like a first tournament type of thing. I do think that like Galarian Wheezing is good.
My favorite thing to do with Galarian Wheezing is to bring it out in front of Ursaluna, so it just like is burnt.
Yeah, that is a very good use for it.
Going from a boost on its attack to a drop is huge.
You can also use it into Dozo teams, and then like Tatsugiri Commander does not work
unless their ability shield. Had that one come up in testing.
That was something at one point. I do remember. But yeah, I think that like I don't think that like Choice Specs Wheezing is the call either anymore. I think that it's like the Will-O-Wisp, Taunt, Strange Steam, or Sludge Bomb, and Protect.
Sludge Bomb honestly felt really good on the team. There's not a whole lot of Steel Pokemon running around. The biggest thing you need to be aware of is just like having having like steel terras be a thing, but like otherwise you're just like, all right, cool, and you're going to take super effective damage on your Rillaboom here.
You
Cool.
say there's not a lot of steel types, but we have Golden Go, King Gambit, we have Archaludon, which are like 3 that are.
Okay, so you named like 3 of the best Pokemon in the format. Shut up, Jay.
Yeah, I know. I know, but it's not like Strange Steam really helps too much into any of them either.
No, not
But
really. Just looking here at the like top 8, there's a Steel type 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so shut up, Jay.
yeah, like steel types, there's not a lot of them, but they're everywhere.
That's the thing. There's really not a lot of them, but the ones that are good are very good.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't. We kind of, the testing on that team kind of came and passed a little bit.
Yeah, it was
especially
fun while it lasted, but I'm off it.
Especially when all your offense came from ground weak Pokemon, like that was
yeah.
That was not super ideal.
Yeah. Oh, Chiefs are getting burnt.
Are they?
All right, there's a flag. It's coming back. Kyle Pitts had a huge run there, and
that's big for me on the league if that's the case.
I'm pretty sure it's coming back.
50 yards penalty on KC for defensive holding.
Boo! This game sucks.
Thank you to Sleeper for telling me the good things that happen. I'm still projected to lose this game.
Oh, I'm getting slaughtered, so don't feel bad.
Both my running backs are hurt in the league.
I'm going 0-2 this week because Josh Jacobs sucked. James Conner sucked. Rasheed Rice is my highest scoring player right now, and
I got to start Deonta Foreman this week.
Hell yeah!
Because Isaiah Pacheco and Joe Mixon are both hurt.
Proud of you.
I still think that, and also Nico Collins did like nothing because the Texans could not beat the Vikings, but I still think that my team is like very good in that league.
Maybe they'll let Bijan run this in, and my team won't look as terrible in the.
Maybe they'll let Kyle Pitts run this in.
I think that might have been number 7.
For my sanity, it would be awesome if it was Kyle. No, it was Bijan.
All right, hell yeah.
Good for you.
It's okay. I'm only down 31 points from tying it up.
Oh my gosh. I hope I lose in Backstreet. I really just want to tank at this point.
Oh, it's okay. He has Joe Burrow and T. Higgins to play tomorrow. So
he has Rasheed Rice. Rasheed Rice scored a touchdown. So
he has Rice?
Yeah, Biggie has Rice.
Oh, I'm so dead. Oh, you're playing Biggie. Okay.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Pokemon again?
Sure.
What happened to not talking about sports tonight, Jay?
That's your name, okay? Mine is Refball Hater because Refball stinks.
You ain't wrong.
All right.
I want to talk about
Flamigo. Let's talk about Flamigo now. We can skip over Kokoro's team because it's a lot of the same pieces we've been talking about all day already.
Flamigo, cool. It's so cool, man. Having like another Pokemon that can just like have these stab moves into any ghost types running around is really powerful.
It's especially good in like Golden Go.
Yeah.
And then you get Wide Guard.
Combat idiot.
You're immune to Intimidate, and you're running Terra Ghost on this set, so you're like an all-around Incineroar counter.
Yeah, 100%. Plus, I really like it on these Trick Room teams because like you can fire off for big damage, like get a close combat off, and then set Trick Room, and like Flamigo will still have its Sash. So like either they double into it to then give you a free switch in, or you just get to continue to attack.
Exactly, yeah. The other cool like scrappy Pokemon in this format is Hisui and Decidueye.
Yeah, which I have done my fair share of testing with.
It gets haze, so that's like really cool for it.
Does it get CC?
It does, but you're typically going to run triple arrows just because you have the opportunity to crit, drop defense, or flinch.
Triple arrows is busted. Too bad that mod's not very good.
Yeah, I mean, in this format, it's not terrible, but like pelipper is kind of all over the place right now.
That's the thing is, it sounds cool on paper, and then you remember that like incineroar is running around. There's like a way better grass type in Rillaboom.
And
Pelipper is really
Amoonguss.
good. Yeah, like having a spore immunity is really cool, especially on like a very offensive Pokemon. The problem is like you need to be like clear amulet. No, you're Scrappy. Never mind, I'm dumb.
Yeah, you really need to be like a Terra type, because you're too slow to do stuff into like Incin, especially since a lot of them run safety goggles. Safety goggles Terra Grass on this set is very interesting. Don't exactly know the thought process on that.
It's for when you get knocked off, you can then Terra to ignore the opposing Amoonguss that way.
I guess.
It's also water resistance, which is like also kind of relevant with all the Primarinas that have been running around.
Yeah, but like
you don't want to stay in against Primarina anyway.
Terra Ghost just kind of just feels like the way to go.
Yeah,
and you're faster than Prim, so you can just parting shot it.
Or go for a knockoff and make it sad and make it lose their life orb, or like any combination of the above,
whatever.
Yeah.
Not.
But like also, if you're tearing your Incin, you're not really happy anyway.
True.
That's the conclusion I've always come to: is I don't want to Terra this thing.
Maybe it's for
Carson Steele has a pet alligator.
Okay, maybe I should have accepted that trade. I also feel like we talked about like this was talked about last week. I remember me and Alex being like, pet alligator. That's cool. Okay.
Let's see what else. What else is down here that's unique? I want to talk about 10th place here. It's a lot of really unique Pokemon here.
Okay, we can do that. Typhlosion, Tyranitar.
Typhlosion is something I have tested a lot with in this format.
Yeah. By the way, I hate your scarf set.
Which scarf set did I send you?
The one that was on the Weezing team. Not enough damage, brother. Not enough damage.
So that was the conclusion I came to as well. Which you really need to be Scarf on that team because you don't have very good speed control. Ignoring the fact that you have like exactly Tailwind next to you, but having Whimsicott as your Tailwind setter makes me really happy because you also get Sunny Day. Granted, you have that on Murkrow as well, but Whimsicott I think is just a way better Pokemon because it also gets Fake Tears.
Yeah, which is something that we don't really see too often anyway. We mostly see Encore. But that's like another really great way that Whimsicott just exerts a ton of pressure. I mean, I think what Murkrow gets Fake Tears too, to be fair.
Does it?
It's a dark type move. I would be surprised if it didn't.
I'm looking.
To be completely honest. But like
it does not.
Okay, that stinks. But you know, on this team, like the Fake Tears makes a lot of sense because you can run it next to Golden Go as well,
and technically Gastrodon.
And technically Gastrodon, yes. But you know, like you have this Whimsicott, so if your speed tiers work out for you, you can either click Sunny Day or Tailwind. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you even have the ability to set both because you know they're going to attack into whatever's next to it, especially if you're running like Maushold first.
And like you really just body Incin here because you're Covert Cloak and you're sitting next to a Ghost type. Like that being said, you don't
do damage to it,
right? Which is why I was running Focus Blast, which on the Scarf set is not enough to OHKO Incin.
Someone in it might have been in the Palkia Academy was running Focus Blast too. And
once I changed it over to the Choice Spec set, though, it's like, all right, nice Incin, idiot, bang.
Yeah, it's like 50% of the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it's still not a guaranteed.
It's 70% accurate, but we all know it's much worse than that. Like the Terra Grass here isn't doing a ton for me. Like, you kind of just want to click Terra Fire Eruption most of the time.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing is like even in front of like a Moongus, you're not really worried about it. You have multiple spread fire moves, so they can't Rage Powder it away. Terra Grass, I guess, makes you technically better against Rillaboom because they can't Grassy Glide to reduce your.
You still resist Grass Glide to begin with.
Yeah. I
Um,
don't. I guess it's exactly for Terra Blast, but you also like you're sitting next to Whimsicott with Sunny Day, and you have Solar Beam in like your set as well.
yeah,
It's like
so you can
if
use
you
that.
really
Instant
want the
Prim.
damage output, you have access to Solar Beam. But
My
like, I also understand in this format where Pelipper is king, like having Solar Beam on your set is probably not where you want to be.
yeah, but like Shadow Ball really does the job against Pelly most of the time. My big confusion with this team is why are we running Tyranitar? Why is that here? Right, like it is a big anti synergy with Typhlosion. You know, and like your team kind of feels centered around this like Sun mode, and then you bring in Gastrodon later on, or you bring in the Typhlosion in the back. Like Typhlosion in the back is very underrated.
100%. That's
I got
99% of the time when I was playing the Weezing team. Typhlosion was my closer.
I got wiped by Typhlosion in the back in the Palkia Academy house tour final matchup. It was for all the marbles, and that was what really did me dirty. Like I guess you have some synergy with Tyranitar with like the Golden Go, the Gastrodon, and the Maushold, because none of them take chip damage from the sand, but none of them take advantage of the sand either.
Correct, yeah. So like it feels kind of out of place here, but like I also understand Tyranitar is just a good Pokemon on its own. Like
It's been so rough. It's been in such a rough place these past couple of weeks, though.
I will agree with that. It
Low kick is everywhere. Terra flying makes you not as effective into like in your own sand, and then you're
Terrifying
also
does
taking.
help you with the grass types that are running around, though. I will say that
It does help you with that, but like, it's your arch matchup is just not great.
it is
right?
booty.
Because you're either getting electroshot or you're getting body pressed.
And either way, you're not OHKOing them back. Like
Yeah, it's like a pick your poison type thing. Like low kick's gonna do 60% and boost their stamina, so now you're not two shotting them either. I don't know.
which is why you're next to Whimsicott and you just fake tears them and then one shot them with eruption.
I suppose, yes. But also they run next to like Maushold or Amoonguss a lot of the time as well. So they have this redirection.
Yeah, but that's when you said Sunny Day, so you increase your damage output.
Well,
again.
you also go beyond the Amoonguss with the grass type.
Yeah.
But yeah, this team is interesting. It's cool. It's there. It's a thing.
Am not a fan of this Maushold set. Since you're not Covert Cloak, I really want Protect here.
And since you're not Wide Lens, I don't love Pop On.
I like Super Fang. Super Fang's really powerful, man.
Yeah. I agree with that. Pop On just feels like, hey, let's
damage output
toss a coin in the air.
Yeah, the damage difference between Friend Guard and Technician Pop Bomb is huge. Like it genuinely is absolutely insane.
The Technician sets run 4 attack EVs. That's it.
Yeah. Mine, I'm a masochist and been playing Max Attack.
Are you a masochist or do you like to do a lot of damage?
Like, let me tell you, when I get to just like one shot my opponent, it is so satisfying.
Try 252 HP and you're gonna realize you still one shot your opponent.
Yeah, but now I only need like a 7 hit.
I guess that allows you to live Rocky Helmet Chip, but otherwise, I think you're okay.
See, you still died a Garchomp, but
yes, you do.
I I don't miss the Rocky Helmet rough skin Garchomp sets. They make my maushold sad. I want you to know that.
I think it was Jody was playing and he pop bombed into. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna pop bomb and wave crash here, and there's nothing you can do about it." And then the Clefable was Rocky Helmet, and his face went. Like,
Oh no! Yep.
oh no!
We have all been there once in our lives.
Right, are you ready?
That's the beauty of open team sheets is you know if there's a Rocky Helmet.
Are you ready to dive into Carter's Quarter here?
Man, I haven't even been looking.
Well, look at 39th. I think this team is gonna pique your interest just a little bit.
Ooh!
We got Skeledirge plus Carbink, Hariyama, Executor, Maushold, and Pelipper. Yes, this team went
Berry Harvest Eggy. Sign me up. Holy.
This team went 2-4.
I don't even care. I was thinking the other day I really wanted to look at Eggy.
Eggy might not be that bad. It also does get an E-Force, as we see here. Don't know how well it works on this team here specifically, but it's a team. It feels like they kind of threw a bunch of ideas together and were like, all right, I have Drizzle Pelipper, which doesn't really help anything on my team.
It doesn't help my Skeledirge or my Harvest.
And I have Executor, which is like a grass type with expanding force, but no psychic terrain. And then I have whatever this Carbink set is. It gets Iron Defense, so you know that, right?
You know what? I'm going to say it. I'm going to say something controversial here, Jay. I think rain should trigger Harvest.
I think you're nuts.
You have to have rain to grow plants.
Yes, but sun is the primary factor.
You're not wrong, which is why both of them should.
As a dual weather lover, I'm going to agree with this statement.
You know what? My uncle Jim Tindo needs to get back with me on my things.
Okay, I think that's enough about this team. I'd also like to point out...
What is this Hariyama set? Why don't we have Protect? Is it because just Fake Out's good enough?
Probably not, but like...
Also,
you don't have it
not
anywhere
a fan
else
of close
here.
combat here.
That could probably be
Punch.
Protect,
I
right?
like Knockoff.
That could probably be Protect.
You know what I really like in this slot, unironically? Terra Blast.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know what type, though. That's the thing.
Terra Steel feels fine.
I mean, like, probably, right? But, like, how many you
at least have a neutral hit into Prim.
Yeah. Which, otherwise, you don't have.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Hear me out. Terra Electric, make it Iron Hands.
Okay. I feel like we would probably be remiss to not mention Padillac, who is an LRL legend.
Running, is Pat here?
Yeah, 36. Running this Palafin team, which is kind of a staple of Pat's for a long time.
Yeah, Palafin Rain.
Palafin Rain.
Is there anything spicy on it?
It's pretty standard overall, which is fine.
Yeah.
You know, I don't hate it. They have Roost Mence, which is cool.
There is.
So shout out to Pat.
What is this spiciness? Superior?
Yes, I saw this team here. I think Superior is low-key a little bit of a sleeper pick right now.
Okay, hold on. Superior next to Bulldoze?
That is special. Okay.
This is bananas. I am all about this.
That's actually kind of awesome because you could do Terra Stellar, Terra Blast with it too, or Terra Stellar like Leaf Storm, just straight up.
Yeah, you get bulldoze, and then like no, turn 1, you eerie impulse your superior. So now you're firing off +2 leaf storms from the
That's
start.
something else you can do.
This is sick.
I still like for superior. All right, here's my humble opinion on it. I think you should be running defensive typing. Like straight up, Terra Blast is inferior to Leaf Storm.
My other big take, Terra Blast should probably just be Glare.
Glare or Dragon Pulse?
Glare's 100% accurate is the big thing. So with Superior, you're able to outspeed Maushold. So you can glare a Maushold to pick it up.
Hold on, I grabbed Cat.
That's fair.
I like that though. I like that. Superior is very fast, which is cool. And you know, like Contrary is a good ability. I think that you know, me and Yui each think that like defensive Terra, forgo Terra Blast, like just set yourself up with Leaf Storm.
You can still be this Miracle Seed set too. Like
Absolutely,
if you're
you
doing
can.
Leaf Storm, Giga Drain.
For sure, but like you can be Terra Fighting with Terra Blast if you really want to do that, or you can just you know just say I'm just gonna Leaf Storm you to death.
You know what I really want on this team? I really want a way to I really want a policy user. I don't hate, instead of like Goldie here, I don't hate like weakness policy Metagross.
You might be reaching a little far in the back
Jay,
here.
we're already in the 2-3 bracket. Like, we already have Superior Zebstrika on this team. How much deeper can we go?
Isn't that enough?
No.
And there's a Araquanid here as well.
We beat Spam, lost a Rain, lost a hard TR with the Decadewey.
Haze, baby, haze. That's cool. The alarms telling us that Superior is awesome.
I think it's probably about time we get out of here.
I think so too. We probably went for like an extra hour than we wanted to.
Yeah, we're nowhere near it.
Well, we're going to be at halftime in the Kissy game.
Yeah, I've got it on. Bijan got a kicking out of bounds penalty, and I don't understand how.
Fumbled, kicked it out of bounds, probably.
That makes way more sense than him doing a kickoff. Which is where my mind first went.
I don't blame you. I don't.
It's a Scyther Meganium team.
Good on them in an 0-4 drop.
Hell yeah. This team's cool. Alright, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah. Carl just input a previous outro here. I'm just kidding.
That'd be so funny if he did it again.
Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys have any tips on how to beat Ornstein and Smo, please leave them down in the comments, because if you don't, I am going to do something to myself that will not leave me in the next episode or any episode going on from there. Is that a good enough way to say it, Carter?
No, Jay. Still frowned upon.
Frowned upon, yes.
If you illegal, don't, Jay's going to have severe liver damage.
Already going to, baby. Shout out Surfside.
Hey, we're not sponsored. You can't say that.
Sponsor us, Surfside. I'm your biggest fan. I'm
really excited for the Genlock episode to come out, because there's a part in it that I'm super, like, I love it. I don't know if I sent you that part of the script. I'll send it to you here shortly.
Okay, I can't wait for it. I can't wait. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all the fun YouTube stuff. Come hang out in the Discord and leave any tips to beat Ornstein and Smo. Please, dear Lord, send me tips. I need them. And check out the Twitter at LR Lessons, and come and check out the Discord supporters links and the Patreon. Send us money. We are broke. I cannot afford rent. With that, thank you all so much for watching. Fire John Harbaugh, and we'll see you all next week. Peace out.